Hey everyone, Neil Carlson here. It's April 19th. The years are flying by. Here's what was happening on April 19th of 1997. The massive flood of Grand Forks and East Grand Forks culminated with a major fire.
This is the problem. From Crookston to the Canadian border, snapped-off power poles litter the landscape like broken matchsticks. Several power companies are facing the same problem, mile after mile of downed lines. But it could be quite a wait for the 3,700 now powerless customers, served by PKM Electric in northwestern Minnesota.
Yeah, we're looking at 2 to 3 days on the eastern part of the system and probably 5 to 7 days on the western part of the system.
In Argyle, Minnesota, there is no power. The gas stove at Will's Cafe has made this the town's only warm spot, as a small generator provides a bit of light. Some 30 people spent the night here.
I take it it's pretty cold at your house.
Oh, yes, it was about 37 yesterday. So we couldn't tough it out anymore.
All right. So the fire department came and picked you up?
The firemen, yeah, they came in pickups and they come and got us.
You've got people out delivering meals too to others that can't get out?
Yep, the fire department has been taking them, and then if they can't get through, they've been taking them on snowcats.
Have you run out of food in the restaurant?
Yeah, we're starting to run out. We're going over to the Farmer Dell and getting the food that's going to go to spoil there and then using that up too.
Okay, so you're cleaning out the grocery store too?
Yep.
As the evacuation was near completed, the water began to come through.
At midday, water was running about 2 feet deep through the Lincoln, Riverside, and Central Park neighborhoods. National Guard troops blocked access to anyone other than homeowners and emergency workers.
How deep's this water here on Lincoln?
Jim Thompson caught a ride to check on his place.
If you're ordered to leave your home, either by the National Guard, whether it's ordered through the governor or whatever, you have to. I mean, it's for safety reasons.
Thompson's family was one of more than 800 who had been evacuated from their Grand Forks homes. One of the media escorts found out he was another.
Oh, my goodness.
Along Euclid Avenue, homeowners were getting ready to go, and many who had already lost their homes helped stage yet another battle against the red. Cheryl Holmberg left in the middle of the night.
What did you prepare to take out?
Just some clothes and a few items, the dog.
Homeowners who had to evacuate don't know what they'll go home to or when, but the scenery suggests they should brace themselves for bad news.
You're looking at a live shot of smoke pouring from downtown Grand Forks. That's from the security building in downtown Grand Forks. The water's too deep. They can't even get into that area. They're going to let it burn. There's nothing they can do about it. At daybreak, the flames were still raging as fire gutted the heart of downtown Grand Forks. National Guard troops pulled people from nearby apartment buildings as the flames consumed historic landmarks.
We decided to stay in our home. We were third floor. We were safe. We had food, we had lights. We could watch emergency broadcasts all evening. We were on the roof. We were watching people that were trying to get out. We watched the National Guard pull out once they gave up on the dikes. We saw people leaving their homes, and we saw things get covered trying to save their businesses and stuff. It didn't help. A helicopter was on the scene again today. It made run after run, dipping down to fill its water bucket from one disaster to stop another.
If you know the security building and you know the Herald building behind the original Herald office, everything between the two buildings, that entire block would be, I'd consider to be destroyed. The other block that sustained heavy damage was the First National Bank block with Bonzers next door there and a couple other businesses. Names escape me right now. And then First Financial Center across the street from First National sustained heavy damage.
So we're talking about damage on 3 different blocks here, right?
Right. damage on 3 different blocks. Yeah, we don't believe we'll lose any further buildings than we've already lost.
And while the city struggles with fire, a U.S. West employee called the situation at its Grand Forks communication headquarters critical. Floodwaters were threatening the telephone system.
My own home is going under. It may not be total, but now I am in the same bucket with the rest of you. I do not feel bad for one reason, because we will rebuild, and we do have faith. And I believe in our people, and I believe together we will all pull out of this, and our city will be stronger. One of the things I do want to do is, from my heart, thank all the area residents for the way they have responded when we made the call.
That call was to house tens of thousands of people who have been left homeless by this monumental disaster.
Bells from Sacred Heart Catholic Church rang out, but few were around to hear them. The message to East Grand Forks residents was simple: don't come back for now.
Because there's nothing to come back to right now. We have to basically rebuild our community.
It may be anywhere from a week to a month before Eastside residents can return, many only to find their homes in ruin. At its worst, the water's more than 15 feet deep, submerging houses north of downtown, forcing others off their foundations. The top of a downtown strip mall barely peeking out. And National Guard troops not surrendering yet, trying to sandbag the police building. No dollar amount on damage, but Minnesota Congressman Colin Peterson is sure it'll be in the billions.
We need to do something more than just what FEMA has available under this disaster declaration. We've gotten the entire declaration, which includes grant money and low-interest loans, but in my judgment, that is not adequate to address this situation.
Everything is closed down. There's nothing there.
Minnesota Governor Arnie Carlson made a 15-minute appearance at Crookston High School, the evacuation center for East Grand Forks flood victims. Many had only moments to leave their homes.
I looked out the window about 4:15 and just started rolling up the street, so...
No time.
No time.
Here's another adult.
We only had about 10 minutes.
Inside, organized chaos. People picked up basic necessities, applied for disaster and unemployment assistance, and left information where they're staying.
If somebody calls in and they're trying to find somebody, then we look it up, and hopefully we know where they are.
Jim and Vicki Mitzel feel fortunate because they have relatives to stay with in Crookston.
I think it's going to be long because they're saying it's weeks before they'll let us back in.
Yeah, that's the hard part, going back to find out what's lost.
We don't know how much water
we don't know.
Stick together. We're going to make it through this. We're going to rebuild this town. And
As Air Force One touched down at the Grand Forks Air Force Base this morning, the enormity of the situation was being shown to the world. Upon landing, President Clinton greeted Governors Ed Schaefer and Arnie Carlson, and a long line of others who worked so hard with a cast of thousands to try and save the cities of Grand Forks and East Grand Forks. From the air, the president got a bird's-eye view of the devastation that lay below. A tragedy for our region that is simply unparalleled and unprecedented. A tragedy from which will spring recovery.
And when I saw pictures of some of you stacking sandbags in a blizzard, I thought that I had bad reception on my television at first. It was an amazing thing. I don't recall ever in my life seeing anything like this, and I have been very impressed by the courage and the faith that all of you have shown in the face of what has been a terrible, terrible dilemma.
But one of the phrases I have in my heart, with you people here helping us, is the phrase from the Bible that says, "It's my brother, he's not heavy," and we will rebuild and we will be much stronger in the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride and honor that I'm able to introduce the President of the United States, President Bill Clinton. The next few days are going to be very, very hard on a lot of people. A lot of you who've been very, very brave and courageous, and water cannot wash that away, and fire cannot burn that away, and a blizzard cannot freeze that away. And if you don't give it away, it will bring you back better than ever, and we'll be there with you every step of the way. Thank you, and God bless you.
have patience. It's going to take time. We're with you, and the government is with you to help you out.
And
think it's the same feeling everybody had. It's like, oh, you know, what the hell is going on here?
It's a time when you need your friends, your neighbors, your family.
Then I came home one day and I said, Joni, we gotta clean out the house. She's going over.
It was really scary. Like, I've never even heard of any like this.
And stick together. We're going to make it through this. We're going to rebuild this town, and it'll be better than ever.
6 months later, the scars of the flood still dominate Demers Avenue, but looks can be deceiving.
I regard the recovery as good as it could be. I'd like to see it move faster, but government, it just doesn't move fast.
Fortunately, the residents have moved fast. City officials estimate better than 90% of businesses operating before the flood are back in business. Commercial construction on the city's north end is booming, and the reopening of the Holiday Mall is feeding a rebirth downtown. The biggest recovery frustration is commercial buyouts, which city officials admit have been too slow in coming.
I have to really compliment our business people for being dedicated to the city and the patience they've had with us. But that's one area I would have rather had moved faster than it has.
Home buyouts, on the other hand, are moving along quite nicely. Like its big sister across the river, East Grand Forks will likely buy out more than 500 flood-damaged homes. But unlike Grand Forks, checks here are coming right out of City Hall. And that means East Grand Forks is literally hundreds ahead in getting money into the hands of homeowners.
Don't wreck my icky house. Don't wreck my house.
Today, former Lincoln Park resident Bill Roswick and his 4 children are one of 240 families living in FEMA trailers.
I miss our bunk beds and...
Kind of crowded in here?
Yeah, and I miss having all that space.
Does it feel like home?
No.
What's missing?
Just being close to my friends and that.
Trying to get into one of the houses that the city's got building over here.
Will you get in there yet this year?
And supposedly December 2nd if ever get done dealing with SBA loan.
For the majority of flood victims, getting the buyouts and financial paperwork cleared up has been a frustrating waiting game. And according to housing officials, it could be at least 2 years before everyone has a chance to get back in a home. In the meantime, work is underway to finish cleaning up the rubble downtown, and plans are underway to begin construction of a new financial corporate center downtown next year. It's hoped that center will attract new businesses and be the beginning of a better Grand Forks.
Right now, I think we will experience a boom for a couple years, and it may taper off at the end. But I really believe that in the long run, it will help our city. And that's terrible to say a disaster, can help your city, but that's the way we have to do it, because otherwise we wouldn't survive.